in the impeachment trial. Good afternoon. It is day 24 of the impeachment trial of Chief Justice Renato Corona. I'm Natasha Gutierrez reporting live from the Senate for Rappler.com. With me right now to shed light on what to expect for Week 7 is Rappler Editor-in-Large Marites Vitog. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Natasha.
Good afternoon. Okay, so our first question today, as everybody is waiting for it, will the Senate invite Justice Sereno to come and testify? Now, as we all know, Justice Secretary Laila de Lima last week, her testimony really was a reading from the dissenting opinion of Justice Sereno. How significant do you think it is for Justice Sereno herself to come to court and explain the alleged irregularities in the deliberations for the temporary restraining order issued by the Supreme Court, allowing former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo to leave the country?
I think it's very important for the public and for us to listen to the accounts firsthand. So that's the value of Justice Sereno appearing in the impeachment court and taking the witness stand. However, after the Supreme Court passed a resolution on February 14 saying that they will not be subpoenaed because of the confidentiality of the deliberations of the court. And number two, any justice who volunteers to testify should ask the permission of the court. So it's a risky proposition for Justice Sereno. First, she has to ask the permission of the court. And the majority of the court passed that resolution, which I think is, in my view, obstructing truth-seeking in this impeachment court. So my view is that they may not allow her to testify. So it's a dilemma for the prosecution. I think they will not be able to present as strong a case as they thought they would have presented. The second thing is that they will no longer be able to access documents which they requested from the Supreme Court, because the court said on February 14 that all documents that have to do with deliberations of the court are not public documents. So we have to rely on the dissent itself of Justice Sereno. However, I think the prosecution will present a timeline, which is crucial in this case. The events, the narration of events and the chronology of events on November, was it 15? When the TRO was issued and when former President Arroyo was supposed to leave the country.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and those are witnesses that we're expecting today for Article 7. But before we move to that, you mentioned that your perspective is it is an obstacle, this resolution on February 14, which the prosecution has said. Now, last week, Senator Trillanes had suggested that written questions may be submitted. What do you think the effect of that will be? You think it will be as effective?
No, I don't think it's going to be a lifeless thing. There's going to be no appearance, no drama. They will ask questions. It's one way. And Justice Sereno, if ever, will answer them. And I don't know if she'll be able to add anything else apart from what's written in her dissent. What's interesting also in the Supreme Court resolution is that when the prosecution asked for the documents that showed time received, the stamp of the documents, time received, this was even disallowed. This is just to set the timeline and on the chronology of events leading to the TRO. So it really, as I say, it really obstructs the search for truth here.
So them invoking judicial privilege, you think, is actually more harmful than helpful to anybody?
Yes, I agree. If you read the dissents of Justice Sereno and Carpio, what they stress is that wrongdoing or public accountability is more important than judicial privilege. Judicial privilege, they say, is a recognized tenet of the Supreme Court, but if there's a wrongdoing, if there's an investigation which involves public accountability, that is a higher value than than secrecy, and I agree with that.
And that's coming from Justice Sereno herself.
Yes,
but
and Justice Carpio as well.
But let's say the impeachment court does invite Justice Sereno. Do you think she will come? Is it that easy?
First, she has to ask the permission of the court, but Justice Sereno is really a very courageous person, as we've seen in her dissents. She's one of the few justices, maybe 3 or 4 so far, who have narrated details of internal deliberations to explain her vote. So in that way, in that sense, she's very courageous. She takes strong positions. So she's going to weigh the considerations in appearing before the impeachment court. It's hard to read what decision she will make at this point, but I don't think it will be easy for her to appear before this court.
Okay, and as we mentioned, prosecution continues now with Article 7 since they had moved last week to Article 7 from Article 3. And we're expecting several witnesses. We're expecting Dr. Juliet Cervantes from St. Luke's to testify in the medical condition of the former president. We're also expecting an officer from the office of the vice president, this time to testify on the appointments that GMA gave Corona. And we are also expecting employees from ABS-CBN to testify on the press conference of Midas Marquez on November 15. Whose testimony do you think is most important, and how do you think the prosecution will be using this evidence to support their case further?
I think in the absence of Supreme Court employees, like the process server, the clerk of court, the prosecution can no longer present the timeline with these original witnesses, 5, I think, from the Supreme Court. So they have to rely on the video of ABS-CBN, and they have to rely on custodians of records, just to show the closeness of Mrs. Arroyo to Chief Justice Corona. So I think the most important still is Dr. Cervantes, because she will repeat, I think, what she said before, that this was not a life and death situation, life or death situation for Mrs. Arroyo. So it just repeats what has been said before, but it puts it in the record of the impeachment court.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now there's also talk about the prosecution soon ending or resting their case. They're saying as early as Tuesday next week or in the middle of next week. Do you think the prosecution's case is strong enough to close? Do you understand where they're coming from?
Yes, first, they no longer have any more witnesses to present for Article 7. They've been blocked by the Supreme Court. So I think it's a good move to shorten the impeachment trial. And as we have seen, Article 2 has been very substantial. There's a struggle still on whether to admit the PS Bank accounts, but it's public knowledge. The PS Bank president has testified to this, so it's very difficult to erase that from our minds, from the public's minds. So I think it's just the right thing to do. After all, we have to conclude this trial because there are other legislative matters that await our Senate and House of Representatives.
Okay. Thank you so much for your input today. And that is Ms. Marites Vitug again with me here on the live stream of Rappler.com. The trial starts at 2 p.m.